Hi there everyone, Miles here, the teaching professional at Southwick Park Golf Club. Down here in one of my favourite corners of the course, the 14th, just alongside the lake here. I hope you can hear me okay because it's very windy today, so breezy at least. So today's video is about self-doubt, hesitation. I think the clever people call it paralysis of analysis. And there are times in your game, and there's definitely times in my game when you overthink something or maybe just take too long sometimes. So the first example for me is off of the tee. And I get this quite a lot in teaching, where you're telling someone what you want them to do in their swing and they're so hung up on being so cautious and careful and overthinking that then the swing starts to become a little bit unnatural, a bit jerky, a bit tighter, and that tightening up always causes you some sort of problem. So this would be an example of that. You'll get a player that will go like this. Already too long, because you've just built tension, you've gripped tightly, your head's whooshing round. Oh, I've got the water on the left and I always slice it on this hole, and that extra tension and time at address is too long. So at least keep the club moving, maybe have a little waggle and reduce a bit of tension. But my answer to this part of your swing, and especially tee shots, is a solid pre-shot routine. So that would be come from behind, pick your line, align yourself to that line, and then go with just some simple swing thoughts. And I would say to you, well, let's go me, right? I go with tempo, so make sure that takeaway is smooth, and then I just think finish position. So if I can turn into a correct finish position, things normally work out much better for me. So mine would be something much more along this sort of speed. And if you go down that route, then it should all be the same every time. And if you keep following that routine, I pick my line, blah, 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 whatever it might be, it can be your thing, but don't lock into position. Think, oh, what have I got to do next? And oh, this is a difficult shot. It's already built too much tension into you. So let's move on to my nemesis, the putting green. Just as I'm walking down to the 14th green here, this is really off topic a little bit, but just while it's in my head, and I wanted to, hopefully a few of the members will see this. The junior section here at Southwick is certainly in the doldrums. You can see from the elite players you've got in the club at the moment, the Welton boys and Liam and those sort of guys, they've come from your, at some point, really good junior setup and caring parents and all that sort of stuff. So this is something that I'm quite passionate about, and Neil's definitely very keen to get it going. I want to start the junior section in earnest. So in my boys group, it's not a boys group, but it just so happens they're all boys, I'm up to 9, and those 9 are ready to get going in some sort of shape or form. So on the 23rd of October, I've agreed with the club that we'll put on a little Texas scramble. Doesn't have to be parental, it can be a granddad or a friend and one of my juniors, or more importantly, one of the juniors at the club that I'm not aware of. So there'll be teams of 4, we'll play a Texas scramble, and hopefully it will be the start of a greater junior section. And I think it's our duty as a club and mine as a golf pro to grow the game. The brutal truth is you have to replace your dead, so that's that. And I'll tell you a nice little story really. Maybe, I don't know, 15 years ago? Maybe 15 years ago, a granddad came to me and said, I've got this kid, he is brilliant, you've got to see him, and I want him to have some golf lessons with you. And like normal, lots of granddads are going to say the same thing about their wonderful kid. And this boy turned up and wow, crikey, he was tiny. He was about 10 or 12, can't remember exactly. For his age, the best ball striker I've ever seen. And that kid turned out to be Harry Ellis, who went on to play in the Masters and the US Open and the British Open, won the English Amateur, youngest winner. So for me, I want another one of them. I want to see if I can get someone else that good. And I think I've got potential in my group. It'd be a shame to name him because that would be a bit unfair. But he's pretty much almost as good as Harry was at the same age. Harry just had that proper drive and determination to make a success of himself, which we all need. So yeah, Harry is doing well. He's a professional now. He's been through the college system in America. There is unfortunately a bit of a tragic story around Harry, that his mum died right at the peak of when all this was going on. So in some ways it pushed him on to do things for her, but obviously that's a pretty traumatic experience for a young fella. So yeah, Harry Ellis. Who's my next one? So 23rd of October, if you know someone that's a member here, a junior, who wants to play in it, that'll be fantastic. Just get them to get hold of me and I'll make it all happen. That's a nice little stroll. We're at the green already. I can prove to you that all this is all one take now, probably. I keep telling people it's only one take and I never watch them back. Genuinely is. Right. So I've got my short putter out because I'm having to go back with that again. The long one is the long one. So this is partly why I made the video today. I was watching Rory McIlroy's putting coach talking about how they're trying to make him more instinctive and intuitive, that he's overanalyzing it and taking too much time in the putts. And this is where you see it a lot, I think. So, you know, you've got a 6-foot putt. It might be for your birdie or your bogey or whatever, but you want to make it. It's just really important. And then you get looking at it from 3 sides, overthinking it, aim point, plumb bob, you know, whatever it might be. I've got the feeling that your first instinct is normally the best one. Now, you've got to put a good stroke on it, undoubtedly, and all the technique that goes around putting. But most of you got a pretty sound putting technique. As long as you're holding it putter correctly and not moving too much, you probably find that your instinct is the best one. I'm not doing it again, but that's my theme anyway, and this is what this thing gets me in so much trouble. But that's the route I'm going to try and go down for a little bit, see the line, feel the speed, execute. Maybe I'm going to have to take a little bit more time than I just showed you there, but I think it probably is the route to go down, to not overanalyze your golf, your swing, everything. Just play and enjoy it, and you're not playing for your supper, neither am I at the moment. Good job too, or I'll be starving. See you all next week.